Resident Evil has been a staple to what makes Capcom one of the more successful video game companies out there. Capcom has been hitting the fucking mark since 2015 when they ported Resident Evil 1 on the PS4. Sure, there were a couple hiccups here and there, but when Resident Evil 7 dropped, it's no doubt that Capcom would find their newly awakened form and then go even further beyond with the remakes. The remake of Resident Evil 4 have gamers foaming at the mouth, for better or worse. Is the remake really that good? The answer is yes, but not everything. In my opinion, Remake 4 is way scarier than the original. I don't mean to sound like a hater, because I like Resident Evil 4, but I think the only thing that was scary about the original game were the controls. Scary bad, that is, unless you play the superior Wii version. The aiming's easier, what can I say? The remake has more of a scare factor with the zombie version of the enemies and the obvious detail enhancements. However, I do think the dialogue and character development was better in the original. They made Louise seem like the most untrustworthy person a little bit too well, and Leon's a bit more quiet and blunt. Honestly, I'm just low-key super upset that they didn't keep the "no thanks bro" line. I know it's the achievement name, but that line was just pure gold. On a positive note, Ashley's more likable, less of a burden, and they built her up as a strong character. It seems everything was improved upon. The controls, the graphics, the design, the fluidity of tutorial and gameplay, the challenge, the QuickTime events, the overall experience, and the voice acting for sure. What makes this remake as unique as a Yellow Diamond is that it feels like its own standalone game. If you want a completely exclusive experience, you can still play the original game, and you can see how this remake was inspired and why everyone loves this specific Resident Evil more than the rest. After beating Remake 4 and playing the absolute shit out of Mercenaries mode, I can't help but think, has Capcom peaked? Have they perhaps excelled so high that they won't know what to do next with their major titles right away? Not counting the spin-offs. They have Resident Evil 5 still, but that title wasn't as well received as 4 for multiple reasons that we will get to very soon. I'm just not sure what they would do with the updated and modernized survival horror ambiance they seem to have created with remakes 2 through 4, because Resident Evil 5 is the exact opposite. Don't get me wrong, Resident Evil 5 is not a bad game, but they seem to have taken a lot of the same gameplay ideas from RE4 and tried passing it off as a new game. But instead, and this is what they did different, they went as far away from horror as they could possibly go.
Apparently, this game got into some controversy involving racism, and I just want to say, those journalists are total assholes. I'll agree, it might look bad to someone who doesn't understand Resident Evil or hasn't played RE4, but come on now. There are a couple of different kernels in this pepper grinder. We're all getting killed equally in here, don't you worry.
Oh my god. Another reason why I believe it wasn't as well received was because it offered more combat than it did scares. Granted, the fluidity of the combat controls were undoubtedly better, but the AI is as retarded as a toddler playing Call of Duty. It wastes bullets, stands still, like all the time. Sometimes you are dependent on this mentally deficient computer. If it dies, you do too. You almost need 2 people to beat RE5.
Since we're on a roll, Midday Africa probably wasn't the best setting. I get that the umbrella shit is happening worldwide, but the bright ass sun really throws off the horror setting. It gets surprising here and there in the caves and facility, but the suspense is just not there. A lot of action, not enough spooky.
Capcom has displayed their skill and dedication to the world with Resident Evil 4 Remake, and if anyone can make Resident Evil 5 into a masterpiece, it's Capcom's Division 1 team. As long as they don't touch Resident Evil 6. What a fucking mess. What do you think? Do you think they're done with the remakes and gonna come out with Resident Evil 9 next? Or do you think they'll go all out with the remakes and try to correct past mistakes with the less positively received titles? While you're at it, tell me your experience with Remake 4. Do you think it's the best remake ever created? Or do you think they should have left some of the initial charm from the original game? Share your thoughts down below in the comments, and have yourself a wonderful day.